Decades as the face and voice of one of our biggest bands, racking up 15 platinum discs. Now, with male guitar bands dominating the music charts, she's strapped on her guitar for hits such as I Don't Want a Lover and Black Eyed Boy. And although she's recently left the security of the group behind her to go solo, she's still rocking out with the best of them.
Here comes the summer sun. He burns my skin. I ache again. I'm over you. And you can tell me your reasons, but it won't change my feelings. I feel the same about you. Now you can say what you want, but I won't.
Please welcome Sharleen Spiteri.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do.
Looking at me already.
No,
it's weird. I always see everybody come on this show and you go to kiss one and then you realise you're not got enough time to kiss everybody. So everybody
so you can just blank all of us.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought I don't want to let
We
don't want to look like I don't kiss everyone.
How familiar are you with people when you sort of first meet them? Do you ask them direct questions, or are you an open book yourself, would you say?
I tend to. It's weird. I mean, I was a hairdresser for years before. Once a hairdresser,
the holidays.
Once a hairdresser, always a hairdresser. So I tend to just chat away, and I'm pretty much chatty.
Do hairdressers actually listen to the art? I don't think they do actually.
They never listen to what you want, but trust me, they listen to the conversation. The scandal I had when I was a hairdresser, it's outrageous.
I can never hear it because it's drier. Is it just me? And I'm thinking, can you hear me over there? Have you been on your holidays then? And then you're shouting out and everybody can hear it.
Yeah, but remember, everybody's in there like shouting at the same time, so it makes no difference.
Yeah.
It's been a long way from those days for you. It's been amazing, all the albums that you've sold, the success of Texas, and now going solo. Was it a scary decision for you to do that?
It was weird because it wasn't like a conscious decision that I made beforehand. I split up from a long-term partner about 3.5 years ago now, and it was pretty unexpected, and things happened. And once I sort of got together, like where I was going with my normal life with like, my daughter and everything, and how I was going to handle being a single parent and stuff. After that, it was a case of, the last thing that was on my mind was music, to be honest with you.
Right.
I didn't even know if I'd ever make another record. And then I went to sit down, I thought, once I'd got my head together and decided where I was going, I was like, okay, I'm going to write another record, I still want to do music. And when I went to do it, I started writing and thought, oh, this isn't really the kind of record that, I wanted to go into the studio with all the guys, my band that, I've known since I was, 17 years old.
Right.
And kind of show that side of me, like the vulnerable side. And, because even though I would, it was always, with Texas, it was always quite,
with the
boys, and it's like,
rocky,
jumping, quite rocky, and the guitar on. And that's kind of like when you get the guitar on and everything. And
so how would you describe this one then? It's not pop, is it? I suppose it is.
Quite 60s orientated.
It is. It's kind of. I sort of went down that route. It was like, for me, when I started doing it, it was great because lyrically I dealt with my emotions and my feelings, which I'd never done before. It was like I sort of opened up to that, and I did question it a lot, of thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to go here and give that part of myself away, but.
It doesn't actually give anything away, though. I mean,
well, it doesn't. You give what you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's the great things. Is for me, it's a if you listen to it, I'm not dealing with anything that nobody else has dealt with in their life, and also it's very positive. So it's not a negative sense. It's I'm not bitching and I'm not being horrible. I'm kind of like talking about my emotions and my feelings. And
you say Nancy Sinatra was inspiration.
Nancy
Is
Sinatra
that true?
was big, yeah.
Boots were made for walking.
That was one of the first records I really remember. I had butterflies in my stomach when I first heard it.
Really?
Yeah, it was my mum's record, and she gave me. I had it in the old Dansette record player and put it on, and I just remember hearing it, just the doom 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 at the start, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. And just the way she sort of starts when you keep saying you got something for me, I was like, wow. Yeah. And I guess that sort of attitude was something that sort of always ran through with me for like sort of the beginning of my career, but I guess maybe at that point I was, at the point in the beginning of Texas, when we did like, I Don't Want a Lover and everything, I was doing that kind of like, come on, if you think you're hard enough, sort of attitude.
Yeah.
And I guess now, you know, as a 40-year-old woman, I kind of see exactly where she was coming from. It was a bit more like, okay, what's happened's happened. Don't come around messing about, or I will take you out. So it's more that sort of attitude.
You always say, you say it as well, that when you first started, that it was very difficult for women in your business. Has that changed now?
No.
Oh, really? Is it exactly the same?
No, it's not. I think that is in the same.
Why, in what way now, then?
Well, it's just, I mean, I think any sort of male-dominated business is hard. I mean, it's just that so many people at the moment are talking about, you know, they say, oh, there's a lot of women doing music at the moment, and it's like, well, there's always been loads of women doing music, and they say, oh yeah, you're all doing this kind of sound, and it's a bit like, the women in the music industry right now are basically keeping it afloat. You know, people like Amy Winehouse and Duffy and Adele, and you know, all these people are really writing. They're great songwriters, and they're all songwriters and they're all musicians, and they're writing great music just now. It's just kind of sometimes as a woman you don't really kind of get the props that
Does somebody always imagine there's a man pulling all the strings, really, somewhere?
Well, yeah.
There is.
Well, a lot of this. Well, the thing is, they never pull hard enough.
Did you find so much resistance from, I don't know, from your record company, or any thoughts about Texas fans, you know, kind of moving away from that kind of rock chick thing to being a little bit softer, perhaps, and showing that more vulnerable side? Is anyone a bit worried that you're kind of not doing the same thing?
No, I've kind of pretty much always been sort of like in charge of my sort of destination. So it's like, you know, from the, I mean, I remember the day that I was signing my record contract. I remember the one of the heads of my record company at that point. I was sitting outside the door when my managers were in at the meeting, and I was sitting outside the door. You know, I was 18 years old, and I was literally sitting there going, oh, I'm so excited about signing a record contract. And remember, he said, we've heard the demo, it's really good. Who's the dodgy boiler singing? And I remember literally at that point, like thinking, that's it.
Right.
I'll do what I want, when I want.
Yeah,
but you know, you don't, it's just, you know, I think at the end of the day, you've got to sort of protect yourself, and I think that's what a lot of young women coming into any business forgets. It's like, think of it something in the long term rather than what you're going to get right now for something. It's like a lot, you know, and I was always kind of, you know, I was always like, I'm a songwriter first and foremost, and that is what I need to protect, and that's what I want to do.
And Melody's the album, it's out now, isn't it? And you're going to perform for us a bit later on?
I'm going to sing for you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Sharleen Spiteri.